Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Corina and today is Word Wednesday. I'm so excited for today because I'm actually doing something a little bit different today. Rather than sharing with you a devotional, I want to start working on equipping you and encouraging you and giving you ways to grow your faith on your own, like at home, with different tips and tricks that I have used and learned over the years. So today I'm going to share with you guys 3 tips on how to create a consistent Bible study time at home. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let's go ahead and start with tip number 1, which is to set consistent time for your study. So setting a consistent time and consistent amount of study is really important. So whether you decide to study every single day of the week, or 5 days or 3 days, or if you decide to not necessarily use a daily number, but decide to have like a set amount that you study, whatever it is, you want to make it consistent. So for example, I try to get it every day. So I typically set a goal for myself of 5 days a week because I know that there's going to be at least Sunday morning that I'm not going to set aside time in the morning before church to study, which may sound bad, but there's just too much going on Sundays mornings for me to do that. And then usually at least one other day of the week I will drop the ball somehow. Usually I do end up doing 6 days, but to give myself just a little bit of leniency, I stick to a minimum of 5 days. And that is time where I grab my Bible, grab my journal, sit down with a cup of coffee or tea or water after my workout or something, and I just spend time with the Lord, right? With my Bible, reading a plan or reading a chapter, whatever it is I'm going to do. But I have a set number of days that I study, and then also a set time. So this is probably tip 1B, I would say, is to create a set time for yourself. Whether you know it's going to be every morning at 7 a.m., right when I get up, I'm gonna grab my phone and look at the verse of the day and study that chapter of the Bible, or whether you know it's in the evening before you go to bed, or if it's at your lunch break, whatever time of day it is, set that time and make sure that you're consistent with it and that it's a non-negotiable, right? Schedule it in. Because really, there are so many things in our lives that we have to do and that are scheduled, right? Our work is scheduled, we have to make meals at some point, we have to pick up kids and we're dropping kids off, and we're going here for meetings and we have a lunch date and all of these other things, right? But this is something that is not scheduled for us, and so we have to set that schedule. And it's just like in my life for working out. Right? So if I don't schedule that time to get my workout in, to get my devotional in, to get my time in with God, it's not going to happen because no one else is going to be, tapping on your shoulder like, hey, did you do that yet? Right? You might be convicted eventually when you realize, oh, I haven't studied in 3 weeks and I'm kind of missing my time with God. You might feel that conviction, but it's not going to be, hey, if you don't pick up your kid at 3:15 p.m., they're going to be, left at school, or you're going to receive, some sort of penalty or something like that. It's nothing like that. So you have to set the time and make it a priority for yourself. So that's tip number 1, is to set a specific number of days that you're going to study and time that you're going to study. And I would encourage you not to make it like how do I put this? I would encourage you to make it something that is positive, because obviously it can be hard to establish the habit of studying, but once you create this habit and once you really crave the Word and you desire that time and that just to spend investing into your relationship with God, you really do get something that is so gratifying and so encouraging and uplifting, and you do miss it when you don't take that time. So I would encourage you to make it a special time for yourself. Like I said, I like to just grab my coffee and I sit down with my Bible and my journal and my colorful pens, and I make it something that's really enjoyable for myself. I encourage you to do the same. Whatever would make it the best time of the day for you, do that. So let's move on to tip number 2 is to pick a plan. Now, a plan can be many different things. If you download the YouVersion Bible app, there are tons and tons and tons and tons of different plans on there that you can start. There are 5-day reading plans, there are 3-day reading plans, there's 7-day, 30-day, 365 days. There's every length of time under the sun type of reading plan within the YouVersion Bible app. So that is one type of plan that you can do. Another type is to do a devotional book. right? You can grab a book that's a 30-day study or a 90-day study or something like that. But pick a plan and complete it. Start with day one and work your way through until you are finished. So I encourage you to do this because it keeps you on track, and especially if you're either just starting Bible study or you haven't studied the Bible in a long time, or if you've fallen off somehow of your study, you really need something that will help to get you back on track and to keep you in that consistent place. So again, with setting a specific time and number of days, you want to pick a plan so that you can stay on track and so that you have a roadmap to where you're going. So this year I'm reading the Bible in 1 year, and I'm trying to do it faster than the year, but I'm kind of falling behind. I'm actually a couple days behind right now, which just happens. So I have picked that plan though because I know that I want to be in the Word consistently. And so even if I do skip a couple of days or miss a day here and there because life just gets crazy, I know that I can pick back up and I can catch myself up really quickly, and I can get caught up and be back on track with how many days I need to be reading. And it helps because it really gives you a roadmap and that sense of accomplishment. For me, when I was starting to study the Bible, I would pick up the Bible and just kind of open it and like, okay, where do I start today? And I would just pick a passage and I would start to read, and I would, feel the time like slipping by, but then I would feel like, oh my gosh, there's so much of it left to read. Like, this is just such a small dent. I should just keep reading and reading and reading. And it's true, the Bible is large. Like, there's a lot of it. So picking a plan and sticking to your plan helps to break it down and it helps to make, at least for me, feel accomplished when you've accomplished that day's reading or that plan for the day. And even when you finish that plan, it helps you to feel accomplished and like, okay, wow, I got that chunk done. And one other thing that would be really great, and it's kind of like a built-in plan within the Bible itself, is to read a proverb a day. There are 31 proverbs, and so for the months that have 31 days, you can read a proverb a day. For the months that have 30 days, or like February that has 28 days, you could read a couple at the very end to get yourself through the end of the book. So that's another way to create a plan for yourself as well. All right, guys, and tip number 3 for how to create successful and consistent Bible study is to share it with others. Now, anything that we love that we're doing, we want to share with others, right? If you get a new car, you're not gonna hide it from people, right? If you get your your favorite drink at Starbucks for free, you're not gonna not tell your friend about that, right? So if anything good happens in your life, you're going to be excited about it and you want to tell people. So I want to encourage you to share your study with others, whether that is your spouse or a friend, whether it's a coworker at work, whether it is just posting a verse that you read that day on social media, whatever it is, whatever form of sharing it that you decide to take on, I would encourage you to do that. Sometimes my husband and I will both be reading in bed at night, and either of us will read something and we're like, okay, wait, I just have to share this with you. And it really gets you engaged and it gets you excited, and to share it with others means that you're not just reading it, right? You're not just reading it and letting it like go into your system, but you're sharing it and it's coming back out of you. And we know that whatever it is that we are focused on, whatever it is that we meditate on, and whatever it is that gets into our heart is what comes out of our mouth, right? The Bible tells us that the mouth speaks from that which fills the heart. So if you are reading consistently and your heart is getting filled with the Word and you're now sharing it with others and it's coming out of your mouth, that's what your heart is filled with. It's not just up in your head anymore. It's now a part of your life, and it's a part of who you are and a part of your daily interactions with others. So that's tip number 3, is to share it with others. And even if it's starting a small group or a group message with a group of friends and texting them every day and saying, hey, what did you guys study today? What was the best part of your Bible study, your quiet time this morning? Or what have you read this week, even if you don't want to check in on a daily basis? What have you read this week that's really encouraged you? And, how are you sharing it with others? And I would love for you to share it with me because I would like to be encouraged by it too. And really, the great thing about the Word is that if something encourages or inspires or motivates or comforts you, it's going to do the same thing for other people. And the great thing about the Word too is that it's not just for us, right? It's living, it's alive, it's active. And so as we learn these things, it's equipping us to share them and to carry it on with others as well. So friends, that is it for this week's Word Wednesday. I really just want to equip you and encourage you in your study. So whether you have never studied before or whether you have studied for years, wherever you are in your journey, I want to encourage you and to help motivate you as well. So I would love to know in a comment down below what your Bible study practice is like. Are you an everydayer? Are you a few days a week? What do you like to study and how do you like to study? Do you read books or devotionals, or do you truly just study the Bible? Thanks so much for watching, friends. Don't forget to leave that comment below, and don't forget to like the video if you've enjoyed it and give me a thumbs up, and subscribe for more. I will see you next week with another devotional. Have an amazing week, friends. Happy Word Wednesday.